Yeah, my dad was extremely paranoid, and we would watch America's Most Wanted all the time. And then he would say to me that I'm going to get
That's
kidnapped.
gotta feel pretty good. That's gonna feel pretty good
Is
to
he,
get
like,
in the Most Wanted.
Trying to train you for like, he's like, you're like SEAL Team 6, but for like a kid about to be kidnapped.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, my training is being activated.
You're like Hannah.
I'm going to tell you one of the craziest things my dad did. He
Welcome
did a
to
lot
Sad
of
Boys
crazy
Podcast
things.
about feelings.
No. I literally, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I was going to say, here's one of the craziest things my dad did. And then he would be like, welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings. And other things also, I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan.
What? That's a cold open. What would your dad do?
So the craziest thing he ever did, we wanted to walk to school, and me and my brother and sister were all in elementary school. We lived like 2 blocks from our school, and my dad was like, no, you can't. We're like, okay, whatever. And he's like, let me show you why. Walk to school right now.
Oh.
And we were like, okay, this was like on a Saturday.
Huh?
So we were like walking towards the school.
There's like an invisible barrier, like in a video game, and it's like, what? You can't do it.
You don't have DLC.
He ran ahead a different way, and as we passed an alley, he grabbed me and ran off. He essentially kidnapped me, and my brother and sister were screaming, crying. Like
Why?
they're in elementary school too. They're little kids, and they're like, someone just stole our
They
little
didn't even know it
sister.
was. They didn't clock that it was your dad.
No, I think he had like a hat and glasses and
'Cause
stuff
it
on
is-
too.
It would be an insane thing to do. I would assume my dad wouldn't do that.
That is terrorism. That is like horrible. Like, you're scarring all of these
Yeah.
children. I'll show you why. Because I could kill you.
Let me put the fear of kidnapping into you like 100 different ways. That was his.
Did he watch like too much kidnapping
Yes.
stuff? And so
Well,
it's like
this is the
selection
80s.
bias.
It's
Which-
the 80s, and it's also like first gen families. A lot of the first generation families I know, like oldest members of the families, are hyper skeptical about like
Yes.
American culture and the danger of it, because understandably in a lot of cases. But like America is such a monoculture that when people think of crime and danger and things, you picture Law and Order.
Yes.
So your brain goes like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge industry in the 80s. Like America's Most Wanted,
Crime.
Unsolved Mysteries. Like there were all these kidnappings that, happened before the 80s. But for some reason in the 80s, people, like there were whole TV shows that
I feel like
focused on
that's
that.
part of it. It's that they because now they've spun this into just the 24-hour news cycle.
Yes.
Everything I see on the news needs to freak me out, and I need to be worried about it. And they were just now realizing that that was a way to get retention and to get like people to watch.
In Atlanta, the local news started every single program by saying, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Mm.
And it's like, why did they do that? You're
I mean,
just like,
Because
Probably in bed.
because local man John doesn't. He says that he earlier today stole one of his children and misplaced them, and now he doesn't know where they went.
John, local klutz, appears to have
do you
dropped his
think
child
that
down a
ever
train.
helped people go, oh shit?
Oh no!
It probably helped a lot of people shake their child awake in bed. Like, I was so worried.
I sometimes it'll be like 10 p.m. and I'm like, do I know where my dog is? And I'm like, sometimes I think I let Dipper out and never let him back in because of ADHD, but then forgot that I did let him in, and I jolt up. And he's like at the foot of the bed, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh.
I went downstairs a few days ago in kind of like a vague sleep med-induced haze. I went downstairs to just grab something at the front because a package got delivered, and I was like, wait, where the hell is my car? And I panicked for a second. Like, no, wait.
Dude, you really hit a dude.
I
Where's
said,
my
dude,
car? Yeah.
What's a car? And then
I
got my
guess
license.
that's a rite of passage for you.
I went down, I left my car, and I went, what the hell is going on? And I legit stepped outside, and I'm like, it's not by the curb. This is not good. Hold on. Walk back inside. Got the package. I'm like, I'll open that in a second. Hold on. Let me pop my Find My open, because I keep an AirTag. So I don't even
Pretty
try
much
and steal
everywhere
it.
you have an
I have too many. I have 3 on me. So when I travel, so every time I get out of my car, it goes, you left so much shit, dude.
You left your arm.
But I don't. I come out, I'm walking just kind of anxious, and I go like, hold on. It's in the garage. I just opened the garage because my brain went to concern and like searching before it remembered to lose it.
Yeah.
I started searching the car before I lost the car.
I've done that.
Where the hell is my phone? Hello?
No,
Oh.
that happens to me a lot, especially like when I was a teenager. I used to walk around my house without like
Clothes.
Well, yeah.
Where'd
Like,
I put them?
I would be wearing like boxers or shorts. I had these basketball shorts that did have pockets, so I would always be walking around with like my iPod video or whatever under my arm, and then I would go, "Where is it?" I mean, literally just be under my arm.
The number of times that I think the greatest damage done by the patriarchy is no pockets for women.
Yeah,
which is jacked
one
up.
of them.
Okay, name literally one more.
Yeah, I think voting was probably a big one.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have given that.
Women couldn't have credit cards until like the mid 80s.
And like bank accounts and like
and now they have debt, and that's good.
That's true.
That
did contribute to a lot of debt with women.
And now we have pockets, and it's like they're always full.
Okay. Hey, party people. We have our Sad Boys live show coming up at the Dynasty Typewriter on January 11th at 7:30 p.m. PT. And you're going to want to be there.
We got 2 of our white boys.
What was
Which
that?
2?
We've acquired 2 of our white boys to join us on stage.
We will be joined by our good friends Drew Gooden and Eddie Burback. And we're just going to hang out and have a grand old time.
We'll just be vibing. And I warned people to get tickets before, but now that people know that it's our best boys, then tickets will probably sell out as soon as I'm finished saying this message. So head on over to the link in the description and grab those tickets. We will be recording the show, and it'll be available for purchase and for our existing members on the Patreon. So you'll be able to get that. Along with the previous live shows.
And the previous live shows. We had lots of lovely guests. And be sure to keep your eyes and ears peeled for any future announcements for us regarding live shows. We're not torn, but we're cooking something up, okay? We're going to try to do something cool that doesn't give the FOMO if you're not in the LA area. But we are in the LA area, and it's hard enough to leave my house. So thanks, everybody, for dealing with this advertisement. Thanks to everybody who bought tickets, and we're excited to see you there. Okay.
All right.
So, Jacob, you told me briefly about this.
Jacob just did a really surprised face.
I'm sorry to put you on blast.
Why am I part of this?
Wait, whoa!
I thought you were going to blame me for being a male Instacart shopper.
Oh, no. Unless.
I was just saying, the only other time I've ever seen you doing that face is that photo of you reacting to the TV at your house. I can't remember what show you were watching, but you were like hitting the like.
Probably Love Island or something.
Oh, yeah. Or it was Some Right Turn Pretty, maybe?
Oh, it's probably
I think it was that.
You were fully pogging.
Yeah.
But we are talking about the male Instacart shopper discourse, of which I don't know anything about. And the reason I brought you into this, Jacob, is because you brought it to my attention. Though I will say, you did DoorDash, right?
Yeah, did DoorDash for a long time, which is adjacent. I did one Instacart order ever, and I never did it again.
And the incredulity of saying, why am I a part of this?
Interesting.
Yeah,
and the authority.
And there they are right there, the male Instacart shopper in chief.
Are you able to just, if qualified for one thing, you can just do the other one?
No, it's actually very difficult.
But
it's a whole process.
It's like becoming a taxi driver in London.
Damn. Yeah. And you get a big hippocampal muscle. Pretty crazy. From
Big
just
throbbing muscle. Well, is it a muscle up there?
bit of brain.
Wait,
Because it's your brain.
Brain bit.
But yeah, so there's this discourse that's been happening for a while now, I think, right?
Hell as old as time, really.
It's come up like again and again that men who do Instacart shopping tend to do a bad job at it.
The physical shopper is not the user of the app.
Yes, the people who are going and
the driver
getting the getting
I
the groceries.
remember seeing some discourse about this years ago, maybe, and it would be like a photo of the aisles, and they're like, they don't have it. And then the person would be like, it's right there, like in the photo.
App delivery stuff or even like ride pickup stuff does tend to exist in this like eternal rotation, this kind of like lunar cycle where it is always like the moon's always there, but sometimes it looks a little different. And we happen to be in the phase right now, which isn't the usual like finance conversation. People talk about the finances of it, and then people talk about the morality of it, and then someone will be like, actually, you can't say that it's bad for me to do it because it's ableist. I have anxiety. Like, I have no opinion on any of those things. It is too annoying.
I have an opinion. I order stuff on Instacart from time to time. And if someone gets one of my orders wrong, it's fine because the convenience I gained from getting stuff delivered to my door is so high. That being said,
you have had some weird choices.
But I'm not even here to put anybody on blast. I was just going to say that, like, I'm always going to look not at the workers, but the application and the company that makes it. It's they're the ones who benefit the most from making the app difficult to navigate, or for making it difficult from a customer side to provide replacements or recommendations for replacements.
You rate the driver, not Uber. You know, it is there's the veil of customer service that you get mad at.
Even the I always think about the speed with which they probably have to move in order to make a living wage.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right, because they've gamified like being like Uber tricked like the everyman into thinking that they were an enterprising like startup founder, and the startup was, I'm going to create this game where you need to work really hard and fast and not take any breaks in order to make a living. And I'm going to much like the like Indiana Jones like door closing, like I'm going to make it more and more difficult over time for you to make that living. As my needs and my investors' needs, as my investors want to squeeze more profits, it's going to come out of your pocket.
We are the like
your
landlord
margins
of your job now.
Essentially, they're the landlord.
Yeah.
Not to mention, on top of this, there's reporting to suggest that Instacart is doing price fixing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like they can promise to these grocery partners that basically they won't get undercut on the app. And as a result, they've now created this like cartelification of like your fucking Family Mart, or not Family Mart, that's Japanese, but like your Family Dollar, your Lion, Food Lion. That was like, where's the one I had in my hometown?
I'm trying to remember I feel like the one other discourse that would often come up would be somebody criticizing like the logistics and the messiness of it, and the like, hey, I don't know if you always need this, or if like you should go pick up your own groceries, or you shouldn't order out so much. And like I caught my hands to it, right? I put my hands up and I go like, look, I've had my habits, I've had my bad loops of just ordering too much, and then some better ones of walking, and like I'm okay on it now because I'm trying to drive a little more, so I'm like going to stores, but still I'm getting takeout way too much relative to what's a healthy habit, you know. But some people really, really, really are not okay saying that last part that I said. Some people are really uncomfortable feeling like morally compromised, especially in a discourse. Like, no matter the position you hold, it can't just be that you wanted it. It also has to be the moral.
It has to be the morally correct decision.
Which is like a pretty exhausting way to live, because like you're allowed to just be stupid or like a little silly.
Yeah.
But like,
and like we live in a hard world.
Don't worry about it, dog. Whatever I just hope whatever it is, I hope it sustains okay, and I hope it's viable for you. But I do remember the biggest discourse always coming out of like, well, actually, you know, I'm not physically able to go to the grocery store. And like, okay, that's not what we're talking about, though.
Right.
Like, that's just not.
It's the pancakes, waffles thing.
Yeah,
like,
you must hate them.
I do think there is something where it's like, if the product is bad, if you don't like it, figure out another solution if you can't. I don't know, like, to Jarvis's point, you have to weigh that convenience versus it's how I want it to be, you know?
Right.
Yes.
You do lose when you're not doing something yourself. You always lose something in the translation of delegation.
Exactly.
You aren't going to get exactly something the way you want it unless you do it yourself. And that's not the fault of someone else. It's the reality of you might have a different bar of success.
Yeah.
Especially if like a lot of this stuff is just like an infrastructure problem. And I don't mean like capitalist infrastructure. I mean like actual just like application infrastructure, communicating with the restaurant. Pretty often, if you get the wrong thing ordered from a restaurant, it's because they don't have Uber Eats implemented into their system at all. They have it going through a third party. Then they get a phone call that then they order from in an entirely new system. There's like a coffee place I really like near me. If I'm in a rush and I want to grab something from there, sometimes I would order ahead. They just don't make it. Like it can be an hour and you turn up and they used to go like, oh, right. And it's just because they have to check a different till.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I guess that's not the best. I am very open to having my mind changed, though, because the specific context of this one, I guess, is not a conversation I've seen before, I guess.
Yeah, let's see what they have to say.
Let's see what Tim Heidecker tells us.
Is going on with male Instacart shoppers. You might have heard that they've got a bit of a bad reputation, and I can tell you from experience.
He's doing Adam ruins everything.
Yeah, I know. The damage that College Humor did to presentation.
Yeah. It's like not even normal TikTok voice. It's like Adam Conover.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of a
upset.
throwback. Adam Conover's fucking sick of this shit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I worked as an Instacart shopper briefly years ago, and I can tell you it's not that hard. But then I'm a gay man, so I have basic common sense. Anyway, in the latest chapter of this ongoing Why Did This Dude Substitute a Pack of Bacon for a Pound of Apple?
This is a character. This is it's a little bit like I don't even have time to get to what he was saying about how gay men have common sense. Okay?
All right.
I mean, by all means.
Jacob, consensus?
I don't really have anything to say about that.
I mean, Jacob does have a lot of common sense.
Jacob's lawyer.
I think there are a lot of examples of gay men that don't have common sense.
Yeah, there we go.
Jacob's talking to his lawyer.
Wait, what is this article? Ask any wife, girlfriend, daughter, sister, or aunt. It's like, what are they?
The 5 girls.
Yeah. If you ask the cabal of 5 women, one who hails from each role a woman can have in society.
A broad, a witch, a rogue, a sorcerer.
Yeah, a broad witch, a fortune teller.
That's awesome. It can only be what you're related to.
This episode of Sad Boys is sponsored by ZocDoc.
Life can feel like a big puzzle. You're constantly trying to fit all the pieces together, make that beautiful picture, but it has to include your career, your passions, your relationships, your finances, and of course, your health care.
But finding care shouldn't be the trickiest piece to fit into everything going on. ZocDoc makes it easy to find and book an appointment with a doctor that fits your needs.
ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love.
Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or one of the 200 plus specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can search by specialty or symptom to find and put together the care team that's right for you.
Want to see your doctor in person? Great. Easy. Prefer a video visit? No problem.
You can also view thousands of verified patient reviews that tell you everything you need to know about your doctor. Maybe you root for the same sports team or you both hate small talk. Whatever it is, you'll feel confident that you know that you just booked a doctor you know you'll love.
And when you're ready, you can see their actual real-time available slots and click to instantly book a visit. No phone tag, no waiting around. Just get it done.
Appointments through ZocDoc typically happen fast. We're talking 24 to 72 hours after booking. You can even get the mythical same-day appointment.
So stop putting off those pesky doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sadboys to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor that you'll love.
That's ZocDoc.com/sadboys, ZocDoc.com/sadboys.
Thanks again to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode.
Ask literally any woman what happens when a man they know needs to find something. We can wait. Actually, we don't need to wait. All right. Well, you're having this conversation with yourself.
What?
You know why? Okay. This is, and see, this is like, there are so many intertwined systems here Because in looking at this, I'm seeing a website that pays people by the word.
Yeah.
and also like pays them like $50 per article, which I'm curious how generative AI affects that. It still does like for let's say Forbes contributors, etc. Like
They need to generate
a little.
you know.
There is an editor at the top of it, but it's not the highest barrier to entry, and you are being paid in the low hundreds, I would say, like on a per article basis. I was watching a documentary recently about Razel Khan, the billionaire rapper lady I made a video about many years ago, who did $1 billion Bitcoin fraud or Bitcoin theft. And she was doing Forbes contributions, you know, and when she didn't have like a job and was also starting a startup that didn't have any revenue. And then they were like doing all kinds of crazy rich people shit.
Girl boss identified?
It was, yeah. She's actually out and she's now advising startups. Anyway,
cool.
A woman named Sammy has gone very viral for suggesting that customers should be allowed to select a female shopper only if they wish. This came after an order in which her male Instacart shopper got 4 out of 5 items incorrect. The wrong brand and size of milk, mozzarella log instead of pearls. And sure, it's not the end of the world, but it's also not that hard to make these distinctions. If, you try looking.
This type of thing, if it's a behavior en masse, I find it a little weird to blame. Like, it may be that men are doing this more often than not, but it seems like a failure of the application. Everyone knows, like, we've talked about this, like the concept of friction, and it needs to be as easy as possible to do the right thing. And if you have, you have like 5 minutes to do this efficiently, you're going to grab the first thing that feels, because also the first thing that feels right.
They're shopping faster than you.
They're shopping faster, but then also I've had Instacart orders where they like send me a picture of something and they're like, hey, I imagine that if they knew the right thing to get, they wouldn't waste the time to send me a message to get a response back from me, because I'm not on call for this Instacart order. So now they're just like twiddling their thumbs waiting for me to like answer a question. I don't think anyone wants to be doing that because it's like not effective for them.
As I know a lot of people that just, to be completely honest,
Don't read what?
like the substitution messages in Office and stuff, like a lot of people just ignore them and wait for the results. And they're like, well, brute forced it.
I do think the app, we'll watch something else later that like specifies this, like how that works if you can't find something.
Right. All right.
And I think it is not great.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, one other thing. I don't know how it like evens out in the actual reviews or the actual experience, but I do always feel like my eyebrows always kind of raise. I'm like, well, what are we talking about if like it's not a native English speaker and like all the products are
That's
in
another
English.
huge problem where a person who maybe doesn't shop for the items that you shop for, maybe doesn't speak English maybe doesn't speak very much English at all.
Get him out.
This is why. This is the only reason.
There's a lot of this discourse that doesn't have patience or compassion for people.
I think that's just like a bottom line issue across the board.
Yeah.
And hey, sometimes the fellas do be a little sloppy.
Well, that's so like
But
you could
I do want them
argue
to still get
that
paid.
like young men traditionally haven't been taught how to grocery shop like young women have, right? So, or girls, I should say. Like,
Not on like a genetic sense, but on just literally a social conditioning
sense. But that being said, I just never feel comfortable being like, all men are bad shoppers, all women are good shoppers. Because I know some women who are really bad shoppers, so.
It's like all men are messy, all women are clean. It's like, well, just you can never speak in such broad generalities.
No, exactly.
And it's also, I don't know, this is the best solution we have. Like, if that's like a cultural issue, the best approach is to like be like, sorry, you can't have this job.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
This is also just like, again, this is an app that, it's now entering what? It's been around for 12-ish plus years. And they have been like a Silicon Valley darling for a long time. I feel like the Uber, like this is happening across the board with all gig work things where they're just squeezing their workers
Yes.
as ever so tightly as the funding, like the free money, like everything's going to go up and to the right forever dries up and it's actually time to get down to brass tacks and deliver returns to your investors, they have to turn up the profit button and make everything worse for everyone.
And like any of the like customer facing stage, like be it a barista or a Uber driver or a customer service representative or something like that, it's just the closest you're going to get to a face of the company. So people will just be like, oh, fuck, what do I target here? It can't be the Vons that I shoot the Instacart to could maybe like facilitate some of the shopping in advance, and then they just pick it up or something. That's too generic and too complicated. I think maybe just like guys only. Sorry, guys drive faster. So
it is.
I'm actually going to go with
like
that one.
It's a 80s stand-up comics like perception of the world.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's like there's no, it's all the other person's fault and they're being weird.
I mean, they should supposedly, because again, I'm not like the meritocracy definitely doesn't lead the kind of like Uber ratings that people get. There's plenty of people that get bad Uber ratings for like being Asian. That is like a phenomena. But I also like, okay, isn't this what the ratings for? Isn't the point that like you're filtering for, if you really care about it, isn't the point that, and I don't want anybody to not be able to work, so I'm not actually a big fan of the rating system. I'd rather just, if someone shits in my fries, I just don't want them to work at that company anymore. But there is a case of like, I don't know, I filter for only 1,000 plus 5-star reviews, and it'll take an hour longer, but that's the filter that I do.
Well, like if you're getting a job done on TaskRabbit, you're picking your person because you need to, basically you have a specific need that might not be easily described. It's like some form of handiwork, or you want them to mount something, but it's got a weird type of mount. And so then it's like, okay, I'm going to look for the person who's done like 1,000 of these jobs. So the odds that they've seen the thing that I'm trying to do are higher. But that is a weird winner take all thing, because then the people at the top get all the requests, and then like it's hard for someone to build their thing. So there's problems all the way down here.
Some people are taken to the limit.
Pulling up my Instacart shopper because I'm what?
Pulling up on
my Instacart shopper.
First of all, Instacart's misspelled. It's Inscart.
Inscart. Maybe it's a different.
Well, she's so mad.
Leering Center. Sorry, I'm thinking about that quote unquote journalist guy.
Pulling up on my Instacart shopper because I'm sick of being ignored.
Ignored.
How are you?
Answer me.
What are you up to?
Bro, I'm so frustrated. I'm going to pull up on my Instacart shopper. I don't understand what be wrong with y'all half the fucking time, bro. I'm out of French toast sticks. The store out of French toast sticks. Why would you sub it for mozzarella sticks? Why? That don't make no sense.
Okay, pause. When a replacement like that happens, they have to put it in the app, and then you can say no, or if enough time passes, they do it anyway.
And presumably that they haven't finished because they're on their way, right?
Right. So, yeah, so this is like they've created a sting operation here where they've called in their normal thing, and they're about to ram. Like, also, you're getting it. Are you getting the same person every time?
Well, that's the thing. Is like, is this during the order?
It seems that way because
it's the same order.
No, that's what I mean. I think they created a sting operation where they created an order so that a Instacart shopper would go to their thing and do the thing that they normally do.
I think it's a really big order because she says something about having 69 items left that they're shopping.
Wait, that's wild.
To be fair, she doesn't have time to go to the.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Fresh toast sticks in that brand, get another brand. Now, motherfucking the ground turkey out, 2 packs of ground turkey out. You want to give me a pack of chicken strips? That ain't even the same shit, bro. I'm pissed off right now. I'm pulling up at motherfucking Publix right now. Cause what the fuck are you doing?
I know
you
this
got
is in
69
Florida.
items left to shop.
I actually don't know if it's in Florida, but Publix to me is Florida.
This is your from lived experience.
Yeah, this is yeah. I remember I went to the Publix bakery when I was young, asked for a free cookie. They said I was too old. I was like 10.
That's so mean.
Why? Sorry, that's so. It takes so little of them to.
I
left. Give a free cookie. Who gives
I
a
left
shit?
Florida when I was 18, and I don't think I asked for a free cookie after the age of 13.
That's awesome. No, you look like shit.
I'm like, yo, what?
Oh, that's awesome.
What are you protecting Publix for? Just give the cookie.
We only have one more.
They aren't paying you enough to be so stingy with these cookies.
So she was, before y'all talk shit, I was a shopper during the pandemic.
Frozen items are to be shopped. I do like it's like the angry life hacks, angry tricks and tips.
Yeah.
Remember, don't add bread to the bag until the absolute last moment because you don't want to crush it with any of the other items in the bag. I was a shopper.
Double bag it with liquids. Are you insane? But yeah, keep that in mind. You can use a paper clip to fix some clothing stitching.
You really have melted ice cream. Like, feel it. Feel the ice cream.
That is a wild
Feel
one.
it. Just feel it.
Feel it?
Feel it. It's melted.
Feel
But
it.
you still have
Feel it.
69 items left to shop. That's what I'm saying. Instacart gotta do better. You got all my frozen items in this cart. I don't understand.
He must be thinking, there's no way you're the client. This would be a crazy thing to do. Why would somebody turn up? All of these points are like, yeah, they're doing like a bad job.
Yeah, it's a bad job.
But this is a wild move.
Exactly.
It's a very wild move. I will also say that and this is again the problem of the platform. Have you ever? I think that this is a dark pattern / evil. Have you ever like mistakenly ordered something on like an Uber Eats and then immediately canceled it, and then it's like, we are going to charge you the full price. They were already working on it. I'm like, no, the fuck, they did not see the millisecond I sent that shit in. I'm like, that's fucked up.
It's all obscured, right? Yeah.
And then you get your money back if you like message support and you're messaging a bot and it's programmed to give you your money back. But that's the type of dark pattern is that they don't want to immediately refund your money because they would lose all the free revenue of the people who don't want to go through support or think it's going to be more work than it is.
This is an interesting one, but also because like the frozen food, not getting that last, that's like an educational screw up, right? That's like, it's not something everyone thinks about critically and maybe they think they'll shop quicker than they are and then they lose track of it or something. That's more just like, I don't know, you can't put me in front of a piano and I'll do all that well. You know, like, it's like, oh, this is what the keys do. Nice. It's not that, like, I couldn't intuit it. Like, you press the keys and you're like, oh, they make different sounds. Nice, I'm there. It's just a little bit of like, that was stupid. He should know better than that. That was like he did a bad job at this. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like content has broken everybody's brains because there's no way she's doing this without a camera.
Right.
Like, this is not something you independently do. You might wait till they got to your house and then go like, hey, this is bad. Like, you screwed this thing up.
It's like cameras, cameras are such a tricky thing because they embolden you. Yeah, film the cops, you know what I mean? But like, film if you're in danger of harm. But in this situation, it's putting this man on blast in front of like this gigantic TikTok audience, and not everybody has the presence of mind to think about the responsibilities that you should have in front of a large audience, especially if you don't have a large audience before posting this video.
And not blurring their face, obviously.
Yeah, it's just like such a bad look.
Well, and I kind of feel like, do you want Instacart to respond? Is that your goal? Like, what's the goal here? Just to be like, I'm frustrated and get sympathy?
That's the thing.
What?
Maybe a better way I could phrase it is it's not so much that she has the camera, it's that TikTok exists.
Yeah.
Because,
I know,
like, this is for someone to acknowledge.
That's the other thing is that when you have a camera, you just feel more emboldened and confident to do things that you wouldn't otherwise do.
You're not by yourself. You're like walking up with
you're walking up with
hundreds of people that
When you're walking around Catalina Island and you see Brandon Ingram and you feel like, oh fuck, I have to get a photo with Brandon
you have to get a photo with Brandon Ingram.
I mean, that's just a hypothetical.
Did you get a photo with Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, of course, because you had a camera. You weren't like live. You were like, "What's up, gang? I'm in Catalina Island. Where were you?
Catalina Island.
Catalina.
Actually,
you say it all as one word. Slow down. Catalina Island.
Catalina Island.
Catalina Island. You literally.
Catalina.
No, you hear it? And I was at Catalina Island, and I was like, "Is that Catalina Island? I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly." Yeah, Catalina Island. And I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, you never heard of Catalina Island?
Now who's mumbling? Now there's a mumbler in the show.
But you weren't live streaming to the chat and be like, "What up, gang?"
I wasn't live streaming, and
You got
I
banned.
didn't want anyone to. I didn't put my location because I didn't want anyone to know where he was. Because it's like, I don't want to put him on blast. And I posted it like the next day.
That's very respectful.
I wanted to
of
be
you.
like, I'm not going to be like, hey, everyone, go find him here.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
you've spent enough time with niche internet micro celebrities to know kind of the throes of fame.
Yeah, I suppose it's hard to explain to
It's hard
a
to
civilian
explain.
like yourself.
Because Brandon Ingram inks $150 million contract.
Jesus.
Yes, we are.
You're on his level.
We're on each
Open
other's
YouTube
level.
studio.
Oh,
160 million.
it says I owe them money.
I will acknowledge the like percentage chance that obviously this, it can be fake. It can always be fake or whatever. But I don't know. There's like a manic energy to this that does not feel manufactured. Especially in fact, if this was fake, he would not be ignoring it and on his phone. The fake guy'd be going like, "Hey, why are you so mad at me?" Yeah, he'd be
I
some
100%
pre-canned insults or something.
believe that this is real, which is troubling.
He'd be yelling about like, "Well, then why don't you do your own shopping? You're stupid."
I pay. What did the guy say? Like I pay for your.
I pay your EBT.
Yeah, that's right. Be one of
God,
those.
yeah, that's right.
And then all
She
the comments
says
would be
more
like,
wild
"EBT is
shit too, I
crazy."
think.
Yeah, we can continue.
Telling you what to get, and you're still ordering what you want to order. That's why I came to the store.
You cancel the order, no problem.
No, you cancel
No
it.
talk with you. No
Because I'm
problem.
not. Bro, you got 69 items to shop, and you got ice cream in the buggy.
No problem.
No problem, yes. You have ice cream in the buggy. It's melted. It's
You call it
melted.
buggy in Florida?
That I will say that yes, all the black people I knew in Florida at Publix called it a buggy.
Cool. I've never heard buggy before.
I
It's
think
actually much nicer.
But I
She's-
do think it's a black people thing.
I think
she
cart-
is using
Hannah,
local.
Yeah.
Do you say trolley? You say shopping trolley in
Yeah.
the UK,
Shopping
right?
trolley is fucking proper as hell. What the hell?
basket, trolley, problem. The trolley problem is I can't find one and this wheel's fucked up.
No.
The trolley problem is your fucking DoorDash customer just rushed up on
It's gonna
you,
run you
pulled
over.
up.
Would you rather they run you over
Yeah.
or 3 other DoorDash drivers?
I do think she's being genuine in her anger.
It's very frustrating.
You know how I knew she was genuine in her anger? If you back up to when she's holding the Doritos bag, she takes the Doritos bag, moves it down, grabs another Doritos bag, moves it up, accomplishes nothing with that action. It's just pure channeled rage.
It's just frustration.
All right, we got Doritos, and their Doritos need to be over here.
That's pure anger.
I get it. I've been there, you know? Oh, I need to relocate some items to get some of this anger outside of my heart.
It's shoving my PlayStation controller off the table gently because I'm mad, but I don't want to
But you don't want to break it.
No. I hate fighters.
I'm glad I perceived that more than looked. I was like, did she just do that? Okay, great.
That was funny.
All
It's
right.
like she was doing a sliding puzzle.
I do, and you know what's so funny? You know when you're like, and this is not, again, I don't want to blame, I'll blame her for her actions. She went too far, we know that. I don't know enough about this man to blame him, but if I was in this type of heated exchange, him telling her to just cancel the order is... I lose all of my money by canceling the order. So why would I ever do that?
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't make any
It's
sense.
one of those things where it's like the system has screwed both people.
Yes.
Because both people, either person gets punished for canceling the order.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Either one of them is losing money, and like this guy could potentially get kicked off the platform. She could lose all of the all or some of the money that she spent on this order.
Yeah.
But
And
then-
the
yeah.
person responsible is not in this.
It's an algorithm.
situation.
Yeah,
The
it's
thing
like
is-
literally a server farm.
Is like the most blatant fuck up on his part is absolutely getting the frozen items first. Like when I say that's like something you just don't learn, I mean like you don't learn it like the first time you do groceries for yourself, or you go a few times and then the first time you have to get a lot of frozen stuff, you're like, oh, whoops, or oh, I put it in with the rotisserie chicken, oh, it melted it. Like, you know, it's just a learning experience. Maybe you get it done in college. There is like the moral failing of that is no, like it's a bad move that should probably result in her getting a refund for those items. The thing is like the way this is presented, because just the power dynamic of filmer versus filmee is always so weighted in the person filming, like the person being frustrated because it's, you know, it's the protagonist of the movie or whatever, that like there's so many people I'm sure being like, well, then he shouldn't have done this. I'm like, okay, what if she shot him?
Yeah.
At what point is it like an unreasonable action to take?
You don't want him to get paid. Like, he's still shopping for you.
I just firebomb the Trader Joe's. If it's like you're allowed to do whatever.
I think Jacob is right. It's just like the platform has failed both parties, and it's created an adversarial relationship that otherwise shouldn't exist because they should share the same goal, which is to get the person their groceries in exchange for money. But because there are such extreme consequences on either end, now they have to have a direct conflict.
Yes.
And the business, the app, is always going to be fine.
It's because they're anonymous. You know, it's so difficult to get on like a help, like a chat support on these platforms. Yeah, especially for the drivers and the shoppers, getting support is almost impossible.
Definitely not in real time. Like not while you're. Usually, it's like it takes time later.
Almost not at all.
But this is very much I think, because this guy actually has fucked something up. And I think this is like the imagined version of what people think is always happening when something goes wrong with their order. It is a guy who's being like inattentive or slipped up or just didn't care. Or it's just going,
I'll put the bread on the bottom.
So people watching this is like, this is validating. I knew this was happening every time. As opposed
it's this
to
guy every time.
Or like same way if he's like scooping ice cream out and eating it and like.
I feel that way about like I've probably talked about it on the show. I've definitely ranted about it. Getting stuff delivered to my place is really difficult. And I mean like getting my license plate delivered was hard. Getting my license was, but I, you know, had to like just be insanely proactive about it and put up a lot of signage and stuff. In the past, I've gotten very frustrated and I have like called about a product that I needed or like a prescription delivery or something like that and been really frustrated. And then ultimately I found myself like getting frustrated one very specific time where I was talking to the pharmacy and something I went like, okay, I'm going to come pick it up. Now I only pick it up. I just don't get my meds delivered because that's the compromise I made. Because dozens of different mail carriers from dozens of different organizations have all failed to deliver stuff to our complex, I think that's not an individual problem.
Yeah.
This is an individual, or like the degree to which he's screwing it up is an individual problem. It's just common sense. But so is like I've had some kind of obnoxious drivers that like, or deliver, like the drop off a package outdoors. And I'm like walking the dog back
in the rain.
And I just go like, that's for me. And I had somebody get pissed off at me and be like, well, how would I supposed to know how to get in? And I went like, you just check you have additional instructions, right?
Yeah.
And they went, yeah, like, and they just opened it and it's at the code for the gate, picture of how to get in, all this stuff. I'm like, I didn't build the gate, man. Like now we're enemies because
it's like I didn't, and it's like, and again, it's the weird thing about being human. It's like you might be seeing them at you're seeing each other at your worst moment. You know, it's like you're ordering because you're like stressed or for time and blah, blah, blah. They're like on a time crunch because they've been forced into this like time trial video game where if they don't succeed within a certain time, then they like lose out on their like reward. It's turned people into like an exasperated manager where it's like they're chewing out this employee that is like their employee, but in reality, these people have more in common than they have different because the founder of Instacart is a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, and you wouldn't like get your order at McDonald's, jump behind the counter and go, look, I told you to put 2 slices of cheese on it. Like, it's just frustrating.
Like, whatever.
You know, so one thing I do want to explain, I watched another TikTok where someone talked about how in the app as a shopper, when you say something is not available, it immediately pops up other replacement suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you say French toast sticks isn't available, it probably just popped up. Here's another thing you could buy, mozzarella sticks.
Because that's AI, and it's probably driven by a like similar algorithm, like collaborative filtering algorithm that like is basically based on similar people who bought the things that you buy or bought this thing often got
Or
this
even
other
they
thing.
both have sticks in
Food
the name.
sticks.
Right.
Frozen food sticks.
Yeah.
Right. But it's
Yeah,
like,
which does take account into like, okay, well, how is their English capacity? Is that important
Well,
to you? Like,
that's what I
do you
was
want to
gonna
only have
say.
drivers that can fluently read English or
Maybe
something?
this person doesn't know what either of those things are.
yeah.
Like maybe this person has never had French toast sticks.
And it's in those situations, it's tricky because I do think that there's going to be, and the reason it's tricky is because I think that there's a lot of like xenophobic people
Yes.
who are going to be like, well, I don't want someone shopping for me who doesn't know what French toast sticks are,
Yeah.
who doesn't know English, blah blah blah.
If we're making a filter,
And the reason I'm saying that is not because it is excusable. It's because it is the unfortunate reality
Yeah.
of the situation. And I think that especially because these platforms like Instacart know they have all of the documents of the people that work for them
Yeah.
or whatever, have an imperative to reduce that friction and make it as easy as possible for people to not make the wrong decision. And if they make the wrong decision, it sucks that it's the algorithm's fault
Yes.
that mozzarella sticks got put in instead of French toast sticks. And the only people who feel consequences from it are either the customers and not the app.
So that's what my thinking is like they need to fix their app. Their app is essentially not working correctly if it's offering mozzarella sticks instead of French toast sticks as a replacement.
But the problem is it's like easier said than done
Right.
because they're on the scale of millions of items across millions of stores, there are just going to be errors here and there
Yeah.
or mistakes. And so in those instances, there needs to be recourse from the app itself. And that just needs to, and guess what? I think the margins are probably high enough for an Instacart. I don't know that they can just eat that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But
because
paying the fines as an NBA team.
because guess what? You are the one selling the service.
Yeah.
You are the person who offered the job to the contractor, promised them this thing, and you are the person who promised to the customer this service. So it is your liability for when your algorithm says French toast sticks or mozzarella sticks that you don't profit off of that.
There is an issue. It's like by design, most of these apps, and I think Uber especially, because its branding was so much about like, how inconvenient is it to get a taxi, or like public transport in so many cities is so bad. Uber connects the customer and the driver in a way like that, like, hey, there's all these people driving. Why don't they just drive you around? As opposed to, no, we're actually creating a job that we are then employing people on. It's like if they were like, oh, there's all these people that make sandwiches. We should make a Subway. And then we're not responsible for how the Subway does. They were already making sandwiches. Like, no, you created a new job, like a completely new thing called being an Uber driver.
Well, because in the beginning, if you have to go to like
previously facilitated,
Zenride and stuff, because like, so before Lyft was Lyft, it was Zenride, and Uber before it had the someone in their own car thing. It was like a black car service. So that was a completely separate thing. But the idea of people have their cars already, they can drive people around, that, like you said, that's like where it starts. But then when this industry grows, it becomes people leasing cars to drive Uber with. And like,
but I think it was in a way kind of never true in that, like, they had the cars, but like they also either did or did not have a job. Yeah. And it's not as though like someone employed on their way home from their job could just pick you up while they're going.
The switching costs, someone was promised, two people were promised, the customer and the shopper, or the two customers really of this app. It's like someone was promised a better job than the job they have, and they decided to pursue that. The other person was promised a convenience for a problem that they have. And so they pursued that. And the issue is that when we exist in an extremely profit driven world, where a company like Instacart, and this is the case of many, I was going to say the majority of tech companies that hit escape velocity and get and actually like continue existing and don't immediately fall over, is they raise a ton of money at a valuation that is kind of made up because it's not yet a multiplicative of revenue because they don't really make revenue yet. And then they are now on the hook for, especially in Silicon Valley, returning extremely high, often like 100x type returns to investors through like an IPO or something like that. And those types of things make companies do shit that is antagonistic to the consumer. And it results in shit like Uber, you know, moving into markets where it's illegal for them to be there, but it's cheaper to get the business and pay the fine.
Tank it.
Or this is the thing that happens a lot, where it's like, I have the super cheap service. I basically buy my way into the market. I defeat all of my competition. Now I control the market.
Yes.
And I can raise the prices as much as I want, which is why now, you know, Ubers are so much more expensive than they were. And what is Uber doing? They're lobbying and pushing for politicians to write legislation that classifies Uber employees as even less than employees that have even less protections than before. People have always been disposable because we've known self-driving cars were coming for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you cannot convince me that it doesn't cross the mind of people. Like when I interned at Google in 2012, it's like we had what became Waymo. What spun out of Google was these LiDAR connected cars.
Yes.
2012 is now 13 years ago, going on 14 years ago. And it's like a giant parking lot in Mountain View, California, of these like LiDAR cars that are still being researched for, right? And it's like, this technology has been baking for a while. So of course the rideshare company that is in Silicon Valley, in the den of all of this innovation, is going to be thinking about a world where, well, I need to legislate my employees out of being people so that it paves the way for when there aren't any people.
So it's easy to just
driving these cars.
Roll them out.
Yeah, it's like, and the same goes for Instacart. It's like the same market forces are at play. In most of the gig economy, these market forces are at play because
they kick off with kind of a populist aesthetic, like, hey, there's all these systems in place. What's the deal with that? You know, TurboTax, Intuit puts out TurboTax. They're like, taxes are so complicated. You want to go to
who does that?
A&R Block? Just use our easy platform. And now TurboTax or Intuit lobbies to keep tax code complicated.
H&R Block. A&R Block is like if the guy who signed Kanye West.
It's assault and rifle.
There's a new law in California that's starting in 2026. So right now, gig drivers can unionize. So you think, oh, this is great. What a great law. So exciting, right? But I think the law is extremely complicated and what defines an employee or like a gig driver for one of these companies.
Interesting.
And the obligation of it, you know, it's a shame that guilds and union development are good. Sorry, I should say good news. Are so necessary.
Yeah.
That it's kind of close to like, guys, huge news. Someone died, and so all their organs are going to help other people. You're like, okay, I guess I'd just rather the people weren't sick.
Yeah.
Like if I had to choose, it's just a shame that everyone's getting sick because that employees are so universally mistreated that we need some kind of like public defense.
Also, California would never legislate and regulate Uber and these companies, Instacart. So they're leaving it up to the worker to unionize.
You guys can do it
and make it right.
And then
they're just as powerful.
And I was going to say, and if they successfully organize, then you'll see how much money they're willing to spend to try to bust those organization efforts.
The Pinkertons will get a bump in cash at the very least.
But it's like the other thing is that completing that loop of like, you have a job and nobody likes their job, whatever. Someone promises something. The new hot job, driving for Uber, you control your own hours, you control your own destiny. It's a lie. It's a gold-plated lie to get you in the door. the getting you in the door part is extremely lubricated. It's like so smooth to get started. And then incentive. You keep all of the incentives really high up front to get someone over the activation cost of starting this gig. And then do the video game thing where they're always in the movie Crank, and if their fucking car stops moving, then they die. And so now you have no time for you control your own hours. Okay, you can do whatever you want. You are gamified into thinking if you take any time away, then you're losing money, and now you don't have time to ever think about developing another skill.
Yep.
Or
you
getting
no
another job.
In this job.
There's no mobility in the job.
Ruin your bladder because you can never pee.
Yeah, and so it's like
you're dehydrated constantly.
I would be so screwed.
And so it's unlike any job where you actually are your own boss. There is ability to there's ownership, and there's ability to grow that business and be owning that business while you grow it. This is like it's almost like designed. In I don't know if it's an intelligent design or if it's the Silicon Valley min-maxing, and it's probably like a combination of like maximizing yourself into this momentum prison of like, well, this is the thing I need to keep doing. Yeah. And so now I'm so beholden to this and all of the changes that are being made. And so even though it's 20% less pay than it was 2 years ago, what am I going to do? I have to, it's like now I haven't been able to, for the past 2 years, build up a savings to take time off to develop a new skill or to get a new job.
Gas prices have gone up and I drive all the time.
Yeah. Like, and it's oh, well, you made the decision, you made the mistake of trusting the promises of some company when you had fallen on hard times or were too young and dumb to realize, or any number of like very valid situations that people can find themselves in. And now what? And so it's like,
and you're a lot of that mythology as well. Like you only get disabused of that notion if, I mean, I guess in our case we've known enough people that do it, but also are cynical enough about these businesses to look at it in a cynical way.
Yeah.
Or you don't work for it or realize that, and you just have this kind of like vague mythologized idea of like, well, yeah, Uber drivers choose to be Uber drivers, so if they do a bad job, they're bad. It's like too distant.
Like because it's easy to be. It's like because I've also had bad Uber drivers, but it's like I can compartmentalize being frustrated with a specific interaction. One time I was like running a few minutes late, but not too many minutes late that they like drive away and you lose the ride or whatever. And I got in the car and the guy like gave me shit about being late into the car, and I said, "Hey man, actually, I can just get out of the car. I'm not gonna deal with this." Yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, okay." And so I was like, "Great, nice to see you." And then I went on about my day, got a different ride or whatever, because it's like I can have self-respect and I can also not shit on this dude who or feel like I need to punish, because that's the other thing. It's power. It's like the feeling of like, I actually remember I'm a temporarily embarrassed billionaire, and now I'm able to wield the power that I hold over a person who's probably equally as disenfranchised as I am.
You're owning Instacart.
Yeah.
I'm defeating Amazon like, by railing at
the
one
billionaires
of the
laughing their way to the bank because their two little lemmings that they've got on either end of their thing are now warring with each other, and you just continue to profit, and they never even suspect that you're a part of the problem.
Yeah.
And why would this have to be any different than like if you did a bulk order from Subway or something? You just pick up a bunch of sandwiches, bring them to the party, and a bunch of the orders are wrong. Fuck, they've really fucked that up. You got to go back and like sort it out or call them or something. You ran in yelling at them.
Phone out, which is aggressive in 2025.
Deranged. Like, it's so obviously crazy, but because again, this is like Subway, they wear a uniform, and Subway is like institutional, and you go in there and you can maybe kind of relate to the person working there. But when you do this, I think so many people approach apps like this because they are so obscured as this guy is Instacart. This guy runs it, I guess, or has his own. They treat it like an Etsy shop. Like this Uber driver just uses the Uber app. There is no company. It's like he's an Uber guy and he's screwing me over. It requires like a willful kind of ignorance of
Yeah.
The fact that not everything is functional all the time and
I
not
think-
always the fault of
One of the things about like society is it works when you assume that the other members of society are working in goodwill or
Yes.
exhibiting like goodwill and intention.
That's community. It's the
And
core of
that's
community.
and it's like there are bad actors, yes, but things like this create this adversarial relationship where you go, this is my enemy. This person is actually, it's Dr. Evil, and he's getting the ice cream early to spite me because he hates me and everything I stand for, and not because I don't know, maybe he had a long day and the ice cream was to his right when he walked in.
Absent-mindedly, like, oh yeah, right, I'm getting that one, and it takes a
maybe
little
he's
too
just
long.
moving through the aisles as they are.
Maybe it's the end of a fucking 9 billion hour shift.
I've literally screwed exactly this up. Like, just gotten something frozen, gone to the bottom bag. Took way longer than the rest of the store than I thought. Forgot it down there at the bottom. Like, fuck. The idea, this is something that bothers me in general. It's especially with American tip culture stuff this plays in. The idea that, like, you must be punished. There must be some kind of recompense for doing a suboptimal job. Like, you have
or even that she's
failed,
maybe
or else you won't
teaching
learn.
him.
you won't get any
won't learn.
better. And
That's
it's like, okay, well, in his own personal time, is he allowed to fuck this up? Yes. Okay.
If I don't
because you're involved, it's like not just he should be more attentive when he's at work, but it is not. You're allowed to put tomatoes in the sandwich by accident. Like, chill out.
And going back to that original TikTok we were watching, where it's like, men are bad shoppers. Ask your girlfriend, wife, daughter, aunt, niece.
Possession.
As a gay man, I have common sense. Still a wild line.
That's a
Going
cool
back
line.
to that, I think, again, forgetting about the app in a way that's like way too generous and not having compassion or like understanding grace for someone who has a like frankly shitty job.
Yeah.
Like, this is not.
Albeit acknowledging that, yeah, of course, I feel it in firsthand. Sam, you mentioned it yesterday. Weaponized incompetence. It is always on the table for me as a man in the contemporary patriarchal society. It is always on the table for me to be less attentive.
Yeah.
It's just it's fine. I always have the option of being a little less conscientious, of thinking a little less critically, of being a little bit less proactive, because I am in the expectations of society more valuable. Just by default. I'm allowed to make some more mistakes because I'm allowed and I'm bigger and I'm stronger and I'm more and I matter more and I should make more money, and like all of that's so heavily embedded that even knowing that it is wrong, there are plenty of dudes that will be doing this and just going like, whatever.
Well,
just like how you probably speed more if you're white. Because like, what? The cops aren't going to fucking kill me.
But here's the thing, to your point, weaponized incompetence is like a borderline, if not more than borderline, like abusive thing a partner can do.
Yeah.
Because you are exploiting your partner for their labor instead of like communicating with them. In the traditional thing, it's like, oh,
for
I
your own
like
benefit.
for your own benefit.
Yeah.
I like it actually when I can't do dishes good, breaks the plate.
Yeah.
Oh, can you do it? You do it so special.
Could you show me in so many intricate steps that you basically do it and just it's harder to it's like showing an old person an iPad.
And so in that instance, the victim is the partner on the other end of the incompetence. I have no problem with a 21-year-old kid who's like getting his life together, weaponizing his incompetence towards Instacart. But that is a pattern of behavior that they need to be prepared for, such as that weaponized incompetence is not passed on to the customer.
Yeah.
Because now it's communicating that it's now you have become the victim of my incompetence rather than Instacart's responsibility, yet they are weaponizing their own incompetence and passing it along.
We can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
That's I mean,
Exactly.
Send me some
Because
details and maybe we can do a refund. I mean, I just don't even know.
that's
I don't know his
crazy.
number.
I mean, we'll fucking bomb the guy's house, I guess.
I mean, that guy's fired.
He's always mega fired.
Dude, that's another element I feel like of some of the rating system, like by design, I feel like is designed to go like, oh, this human being, would you like to say that they were nice and that they did good communication, or would you You want to get them fired?
I don't want them to be fired. I want a refund.
Yeah.
Also,
Sorry, we don't know how to do that.
Sorry, man. I better head out.
I've had shitty jobs before. I've had quite a few shitty jobs.
Producer Sad Boys.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I knew you were going to bring that one up.
2-star.
And especially when I was a young person making minimum wage. Like, those are the kinds of jobs where I would be like, you get what you pay for.
You're not paying me enough to care.
I am going to just, look, I've never been the kind of person who could do less than my best.
Yes,
Oh my God.
That being said,
This is your best.
have I taken home a few Sanrio products that someone returned and we were supposed to destroy, but I'm like, I'm not going to destroy this. I'm taking it home.
Absolutely.
We got him.
Also,
Freeze.
Also, you're
It's
never
Hello Kitty.
like you're the type of person in a full like giant head
With like an enormous SWAT helmet.
AR-15.
That's cute.
You would, it's like it's so adorable. Yeah.
Are murdered.
Yes, you would, and I know this to be true. You would never do less than your best. However, what your best is might scale to the enthusiasm that you have for the job.
Well, and if you
Which is your
feel like
only
you're
weapon. Like,
being stepped on and
Yeah.
squeezed, your energy is not there. Like, there's so much that goes into treating workers badly.
Yes.
Like, crushing someone's spirit does not make them a better worker.
I'm sure that you could look at like if you work a restaurant job or something, or a job where you're like, you see a spot on the floor and you're like, I could mop that floor right there. I could make this place spick and span. Why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not being, and it's like, yes, that would technically improve something by some percentage point. I don't fucking own this place.
Yeah.
I don't like get anything out of doing that. It's not a part of my job description. I'm
Yeah.
never going to be judged against that rubric. And so there's no incentive for me to do it. Plus this place is shitting on my hopes and dreams. Why would I ever
Exactly.
overextend myself? for
It's
this?
any more so than someone that straight up doesn't work there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you were just walking around, you saw a mess and you were like, well, I could, but I'll leave it to the restaurant. And then the person who's getting paid almost as much as you are not working there is supposed to like, okay, for the $8 that they're getting, no, I'm not going to do that. There's 30 minutes of my time at this thing where I'm treated poorly.
Before
no
we
benefits.
wrap, and I do want to watch this and I want to watch part 2, I wanted to ask you, Jacob, do you relate to the like kind of need to keep moving to like make money type thing from the gig apps?
Yeah, I mean, the only way to make money is to do them as quickly as possible because you're paid per like delivery. You're not paid for your time.
Right.
You're paid for the completion of the delivery. And so it is like, I want to make sure everything is good, but also like, if I don't do this and 4 other deliveries in this hour, I'm going to be making like less than minimum wage.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
It's,
There's a ton of like net zero deliveries, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and
you
also
go
it's
there
like
and
a rush
spend more.
because like there are certain times of day that just have more deliveries and certain times of day that like you just can't make money because there's not an order for you.
Right.
And so it's like during the busy hours, it's like I need to get as much done in this time. I need to pick up as many orders like in one time in one trip as I can.
Right.
Which is you triaging. That's a whole.
And then it's
if you're
why your
triaging
food's
that-
cold and it's not Jacob's fault.
Yes, I might forget the order to put the frozen things in when I'm triaging.
Otherwise, I might not be able to pay rent. Like,
yeah,
No,
the stakes are very different.
Again, it's like I've been frustrated in the past when I've gotten into an Uber, and they've been like, "Wait, where are you going?" And I'm like, "This place," and I was like, "Oh, I can't do that." And then they like cancel the ride because it's like too far.
Yeah.
But it was at a time when they like weren't sharing with the drivers like what the destination was, and that still might be a case because I've gotten this a couple times. It'd be like, I'm about to head home. I actually come up to the city to drive for the day. I'm about to go home, so I don't want to go that far in that direction. And it's like, ooh, that's frustrating for me in the moment. But this is this person's livelihood, and they're gonna make $0 and not be able to see their family
Yeah.
if they do this thing. So yes, I can be frustrated, But am I frustrated at that person, or am I frustrated at the app that didn't tell them that I was trying to go to the airport at the last minute?
And the material matters, right? Like if this was not an issue, and like if I order an Uber, I know for a fact that like, and it's a trip to LAX or something, and I know for a fact that I'm giving them $100 for a 15-minute trip at a good time or whatever. Not to dox myself. But like, well then, yeah, I might get a bit more irate. Then I might be a bit more frustrated with it, like, okay, and then they're like, okay, well, you can figure out a refund on the thing. I'm like, no, you just agreed to do this for $200. We made that deal and then you said no. Then that would be very different than like getting in, then being like, I didn't know, and I didn't know it was going that way. I was going to get $2, but now I won't. I'm not going to be irate for this. It's like so different, right? If the CEO of Instacart made no money, then I wouldn't be mad at him.
I have been, like, especially when I was younger, way too upset. Like, I remember one time I was trying to cancel my cable. And you had to call them to cancel it. And then they charged me extra for something. It was like so messed up. And I was so pissed. And I was like yelling on the phone with the cable company. And then at some point, I just was like, oh, they just are doing their job. They probably don't want to do this either. And I just was like, I'm sorry, just do it. I don't care, whatever. Like, I'll figure it out.
Nike.
We don't have to finish this or watch part 2 because I think we covered almost everything that
just for catharsis, I might want to, but I do want to say, I want to know if there are any black people out there with 5-star Uber ratings who've done a lot of Ubers over the years. Cause I've had Uber for, I don't know, 12 years and I have like a 4.9 and I'm still convinced that it's because one time, actually multiple times, someone drove up to pick me up, saw that I was black, drove away and canceled the ride. And I'm like, I don't feel great about that. Those are the people I won't defend.
Yeah.
I think my,
you know what? No, see, I was about to say, I hope the company exploits you. I can't even say that vindictively. I just hope they learn to not be racist.
Yeah.
And I think you shouldn't be allowed to drive Uber in a Klan uniform. I think it implies...
It's Halloween!
Oh, he's a ghost. I'm a spooky Ku Klux Klan member.
It's Halloween. You can see me.
It's Halloween and it's his birthday, and he's wearing a pointy birthday hat and happened to put the sheet on top of that.
Sorry, guys.
Sue me. Okay?
I like this little symbol. I don't know what it is.
And he loves dragons. Okay?
He is the Grand Dragon.
He's the Grand Dragon.
Make a little square.
Well, that's because he's the father of a dragon. Well, of 2 dragons.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway,
think about that.
He's the father's father of a dragon.
You what to get, and you're still ordering what you want to order. That's why I came to the store.
You know what this feels like? Can I pause real quick? This feels like we've taken ownership over bumfights.com.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've now created a thing where we've self-monetized. We've democratized bumfights.com. Yeah. And that's, by the way, there's a specific website that like a guy went on Dr. Phil about dressed as Dr. Phil.
Pretty funny.
But like when I'm watching this conflict, I go, these people should not be at odds with one another.
Yeah. We do love, like I say we as a society, not
as a French society.
I think that American society loves to watch people fighting.
We want to feel better about ourselves.
Yeah. There is a Reddit that a few of my friends like where, do you remember World Star?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was listening to the Childish Gambino track World Star on the way over.
Star.
And you know how whenever people would start fighting, someone would look at the camera and go, World Star. Okay, well, that essentially exists now on Reddit where it's like just fights that break out like in a McDonald's or something.
r/bumfight.
And I have a few friends who like love watching it. And I'm always like, why? Why do you love like watching?
It's like for a brief time, my Twitter algorithm would just show me random people fighting. And then it stopped. And now and again, don't do the thing where it's like, it's a reflection of what you're looking at. Cause I'm not, it would be like crazy clips and it'd be like a guy dying. But then the other, like today, I was, a thing came on my feed, it was basketball. I swiped up and it was like a fucking porn.
Yeah.
I was like,
Was it basketball related though?
not even.
It had balls.
I mean, there were 2 balls,
Yeah.
and that's not
Orange.
legal on the court.
No, you can only have one.
That is cheating.
Yeah.
I'm texting you and I'm telling you what to do, and you're still getting what you want me to get. It's my money. You can't make me get this shit. Bro, I'm so frustrated. I'm going to pull
I
up
mean,
on...
if you it's a lot easier to stomach when you imagine she's talking to the Instacart app
Yeah.
instead of a
That's
human
the thing.
being.
Is like, I almost wish she was just sitting in her car yelling at Instacart.
And that's what I thought it was going to be until she pulled up.
Yeah.
It's just a weird. I
Wow.
get frustrated in the knowledge that there are not only people, I'm sure, commenting on this thing itself. But I don't know. You don't understand she paid for this service, and it's just not fair. And this guy was doing so and so. This guy fucked up the frozen thing. I'm like, yeah, he fucked up the frozen thing.
Everyone
Is this
who-
just what we do now?
Everyone
Like,
who lets my ice cream melt deserves to be chewed out in front of 500 million people online.
do we not have like any principles anymore? I'm so confused. Like, why wouldn't this be crazy? And like, okay, swap her out for me. Like, I go to the store and yell at this guy like this. That's what I'm talking about.
Ready for part 2 as well. And it's funny. Kudos to her for using POV correctly.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Yeah.
POV, here I am doing the thing.
I don't care about none of that. Y'all kill me acting like y'all can't speak English when y'all get caught doing dumb shit. That shit's fucking annoying. You have ice cream in the...
She says that like she's done this multiple times.
It makes sense. I'm not taking this order. So you might as well stop shopping it. You might as well put them groceries back because I'm not getting it.
Stop following it.
Well, this is a clear example of
weird.
them being put in an impossible situation. If neither one of them will cancel the order, then he has to complete the order.
Yeah. What do you want
And
him
it's
to
like,
do?
you know what? You're there. Shop with them. Like she says,
He's
never
just
mind.
like,
I'm gonna help you
Let me
out.
tell you about my best friend.
He moves
Like-
in.
and he like grabs the ice cream early, and she goes, and then he like puts it back, and she's like, yeah.
I do think
Picking
it's
up
like
a baguette and like, that's not ice cream.
Mozzarella sticks, yeah.
if he's not gonna cancel it and you don't want to pay for it, what option do you have then to be like,
Yeah, there's no option.
I'm gonna just put stuff in the cart and you check it out?
It's
and
not.
You're gonna drive it. You drive it to my house, take a photo of it, and go away. And that's the weird world that we live in.
I gotta say, I think I know what the answer is, and it's follow the man.
Wait, she says, "You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna help you out, sir." And then
she starts putting it
she
back.
does. Oh,
Seems like it would take less time.
That's making his job harder, unfortunately.
Making your life harder. He did not want to cancel on his app because it goes against you
Well,
after
now
you
that's-
have
oh
already
my
accepted
God.
it. Like any other app, I'm guessing, but I could not.
what do the comments say? This was definitely a valid crash out. See, the issue is
He needs to be fired, honestly.
the issue is like the lack of class solidarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
I think a little bit of it also. Like as far in the same vein as that,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that there's no xenophobia.
Well, yeah. I think that's the other thing, too.
xenophobia, but then also a lack of education about like where do you learn that actually it's the company's fault?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm like,
I have to just it would.
I'm like, I learned it from media consumption and books and George Orwell's 1989 by
I also
Taylor
think
Swift.
I've just learned it from living and having jobs.
Yeah.
Where it's like you work enough and you realize like the system or like these big companies are never like.
but I
looking
never
out
worked
for
a job in my life. I have princely hands.
Yeah. I have a
Where
pianist.
did I learn to be so
I have a
so
penis's
based?
hand.
Yeah, the two of you have hands so soft they're like pillows,
Right.
Silk pillows.
Bony
I
pillows.
sleep on my hands for that reason. Yeah.
a pillow full of bones.
No, but I think like the moral of the story, and we say this all the time, so sorry if there's a broken record, but like never blame individuals. It's always an institutional problem. Almost always. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously serial killers blame the individual.
Well,
But-
I say blame Captain Crunch for being so killable.
this is wild. I really like that.
Well, on that note,
You're so angry at him.
Struck a
Okay.
nerve.
I did interrupt you though.
No, that was it.
You
I
can
don't
say the
even
same
know.
thing, weirdly.
I even think about it. It's Captain Crunch. Now.
Yeah, I can't help but the little peek into behind the curtain where she's like, you can't stop pretending you speak English. I'm like, what the fuck?
I just
Hold on.
that's there's so much xenophobia.
You know
in
what
that.
foreigners are like? They're always doing that. They're like,
But that's the
often
ultimate
do you do
trick,
this?
right? Is to get people like
Yeah.
it's like people of color to be xenophobic, and it's like,
Yeah.
bro, like,
come on, bro.
come on,
Everyone
bro.
should watch the movie Madawan.
Is that where you learned everything?
Well, it's a really good movie about a strike that happened, and they brought in immigrants to scab on. I think it's a miners' strike. They bring in, I think, Italian immigrants, and so instead of being mad at the Italian immigrants, all of these like Appalachian white dudes go over to them and are like, hey, we just want to explain to you why we were striking in the first place. And then the immigrants joined them in the strike. And it was so
Hell
beautiful.
yeah.
And they like became this like beautiful community helping each other out. So it's like watching stuff like that, you realize
And when did Yoda teach them to use the lightsaber?
That sounds good.
on the Dagobah system.
Whoa.
Because he said, come young Madawan. So while Jacob is pulling this up, I'm going to talk about how I have been feeling really bad lately. My New Year's resolution is to
Feel good.
be less of a fucking loser.
No.
I haven't been leaving the house. I feel like I have been not just showing up for people. I just been fucking up left and right, and I feel bad about it.
Maybe New Year's resolution, be gentle on yourself.
Yeah,
that
but
you're great and no one is mad at you.
everyone hates me. And yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No, I totally relate because I think, yeah, I've
I
been
just-
feeling like kind of existential about everything where it's like, what's the point?
I've been feeling like a big failure at everything, even though none of it matters. And that's annoying. That's an annoying combination of feelings.
Failure in things that don't matter, or
Well,
the
just
feeling
like-
of failure.
It's
doesn't
like, for example, I like had to cancel some videos at the end of the year for December because I got super overwhelmed and the holidays were coming up and I didn't want to have to be working on the holidays. And I was already just feeling sad. And the holidays make me feel sad. And so it's just like, bleh. But I'm going to probably get a new therapist in the new year, I think. Just because like my old one is not super responsive always and I just feel like I've grown out of the amount. I've had them for like almost a decade at this point. And I still probably want to see them on some basis, but
I mean,
I
if they're
do-
not having the impact, you
Yeah.
at least want to.
I like the context and the longitudinal element, but in terms of approach, I just don't feel. I feel like I've squeezed as
I'm
much as I
super
can.
pro getting a new therapist after a while because I do think like you get in a sort of, I don't want to say a rut, but you're kind of like just going through the motions with someone after a while. And when you mix it up and have to start over and you see that someone else has a different style or whatever, it's actually invigorating.
Right, and hopefully like motivating to like
Yeah.
have a new approach. But yeah, I just feel like I just haven't. As the years go by, and I think this is partially just like New Year, it's like I think about last year and the year before that, and it's like, wow, I don't feel like I've really progressed or achieved any of the things that I want to. And I think I just feel a lot of shame.
What do you want to achieve?
Like I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not exercising. I'm not eating as well as I should. I haven't uploaded a main channel in going on 3 years. So it's like all of those things feel like failures to me. And like, I want to like fix it. But it's like easier said than done.
Well, I guess the case of maybe finding, it's not advice, I'm not really fucking advice, but I guess like what's not been tried, and it's probably collaborating on that more.
Well, actually,
co-accountability.
I don't know.
Working out with someone kind of thing.
I don't know. I feel like I felt even less able to do that. Like I felt more graded, like doing things with people. And I think it's just a general side effect of being sad and just like everything kind of not feeling good or everything feeling like it's going against the grain. And so I kind of feel like it's a Rube Goldberg machine type thing where I literally just need to like knock over the first domino.
And sometimes it does just take, or like sometimes in I don't know if this is going to make any sense. Sometimes the wind just knocks over the first domino.
Yeah.
And then
that's
5 years go by and you remember, I knocked over that first domino. Why can't I do that anymore?
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, that never happened.
Yeah, no,
I used to work harder. Look at where my life was.
A lot of things do come back. And I think I'm not delusional to that. Like, I think that a lot of my struggles come from like my life being set up very differently when I was working in industry and then not having like to worry about. It was like the wind was knocking over certain things. And then now I have to like knock them over myself. In just like feeling
the wind knocks it over in that environment and you don't really get to set up the dominoes yourself, but you get the input, right?
Yeah.
You get to say like, that looks good. I'll trust the process a little bit on that one.
Yeah. Just a constant state, I think, for me of overwhelm, and just like a never ending, and this is like just life, but it's like a never ending list of to-dos, but then feeling like I'm not even like making progress on the things that I want to be doing, but also not having the energy to do that. And then I wonder, like, is it the energy or is it the desire to even do these things? It kind of is like when you know, when you're tired and you know you need to brush your teeth, but like you're in bed. Mm-hmm. It's like so many things feel like that to me.
It feels like moving through a swamp.
Yeah.
That's
anyway
depression.
It's painfully simple, unfortunately. It is or rather simple, not easy, right?
Yeah.
That's the simplicity of its depression and finding the sources at something, and sometimes the wind blows it over or whatever.
The good news is that like I can exist in what I feel like is a stasis, and it still is like, it's still, everything works.
Yeah, materially, like
everything still happens.
Stasis is like if you're in a coma for 5 years, it like blows, but the medical bills were covered, kind of thing. Yeah.
So it's like that's good, and that's like, I feel like I am fortunate enough to have the time to figure it out. But
what sucks sometimes is like when you feel like you're progressing in any one thing, and it goes on long enough, it's almost like I don't know, like when I try and think back to when I was like physically active, right? Mm-hmm. Or when I was doing a lot of physiotherapy. That's like, because that's something with EDS you're supposed to do. And now I'm like permanently compromised. There's like an amount of progress I can't really make back because I wasn't, it's like wearing a retainer, kind of like there's only so much. If you don't wear it for a really long time, there's only so much you can kind of get back. But sometimes that does feel like dread, like, oh, fuck, like how many years of like super physical activity or something did I compromise by doing that or whatever? When there is momentum in something, it does feel like it sometimes fills up the space. It's cut back 3 months ago. I was so horrifically depressed, but it's so weird. Getting the driver's license, huge. I'm still riding high on it. And that was wind knocking over the domino. That was having a friend who also didn't have one, who was more proactive about it. We're like, okay, we'll go to the DMV together and we'll do the thing.
Right. But yeah.
But that is like, something I've been noticing a lot. I'm curious how this is for you, is the like, I look at my to-do list and I'll think about it in the abstract without opening my reminders app. And then I'll open the reminders app and go like, oh, none of these matter.
Yeah.
or rather, one of them does. And then like, it's one thing related to like visa paperwork. This is like a classic one that I feel. And then what about like repairing like a broken leg on the couch? And because I haven't done the visa one, or even if I do get around to doing it, you get used to everything being first order danger, first order panic, first order.
Right. Also, there's an ADHD element to that for myself at the very least, which is like in terms of like bucketing priorities and stuff like that. It's like everything kind of people with ADHD tend to have this like now or later type priority bucket. So it's only the stuff that's like squeaking, you know, only the fire alarm that's beeping gets the battery. And so I have like the artifacts, the fossils of some of these former like habits that I used to have that almost help. You know, it's like I set the reminders, I put things in my calendar, but I just don't have any of the like fuel to like drive down the path, you know, to put in the car and drive.
The neural pathways are there, but I'm like, oh, it's locked. Yeah, this didn't used to be locked.
But I do also know that I have oscillated in a very when I'm getting some momentum, it tends to like raise everything. Yeah. And so the goal used to be just like reduce the time, the gaps in between like being able to build that momentum, even if you fall off the horse. And I think I just need to get some of that momentum back up. And I'm not always being fair to myself, often not being fair to myself, but like the fatigue also is really tricky. Like it feels like I need to like take my ADHD meds to even like get out of bed. And that's a thing where it's like I did all the, you know, it's like I did all, and I don't want any medical advice, but it's like I did all these tests. I've like done all these vitamin panels. It's like I've made sure that every like vital thing is at, you know, peak whatever. And there's still nothing. It's like I've looked into, have you heard about this thing or this thing or this thing? It's like I feel like I've kind of run the gamut of so many things. And so that's frustrating.
There's
it's
only
just
the intangibles, and like what the fuck do you do with an intangible?
Just like taking it, all that's to say, the good thing is I still remain optimistic that I will figure it out, always have. And I know that the gap between like what I want to achieve and what I have achieved is larger in my perception than it is in anyone else's perception or in reality. And so I know that it's just like my own oddity, but I think that at the very least, Sad Boys, I can talk about it, let people know where I'm at, and, you know, shout into the void that is actually people hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry you're feeling especially low. I do feel you are one to raise the ceiling with the progress kind of thing, the treadmill element.
Yeah.
But which is not so much a like thing to, well, what the fuck do I know? The fix, it's a thing to adjust to, right? It's
sure,
something to work around.
Yeah.
And you already know all of those things and the best approaches to it. I'm very proud of you. Coincidentally, I really struggle with proud of you, and I think it's a cultural difference because the phrasing means something else in England, I think. Like proud of you means I got you to do it. I'm proud of you as my son because of I'm proud of this thing I built.
Right.
But anyway,
I think that does sort of exist in American English
like
as well.
the implied ownership.
Your pride because you're a lion, you know.
Yeah, I had years ago I was in a relationship where like someone really appreciated me using that phrasing, and I really struggled with it. It feels just like, it feels patronizing, you know. But anyway,
I know what you mean. Especially after watching that documentary where they were saying some wild stuff.
It's us problem.
Like talking about a dead person and be like, then she bit the dust. It's like that's
she
not
kicked the bucket.
It's like that type of flippance.
It's
like why is where and were why is one spelled with an A? Like why is it? But anyway, I just wanted to say that I admire, that feels more right to me, you saying out loud and acknowledging the you will conquer it, always have done. Because I think the saying always have done is like a very difficult thing to even just say out loud, because everything in your bones is telling me that you actually that you never did it. Is telling yourself, maybe I'm projecting, that actually you never did do it, and actually that one didn't work, and that one was just like or something. But acknowledging that the other Rube Goldberg machines did get knocked
but it's
down.
like even if you've never done it, there is there is honor and valor in the pursuit.
Yes. That's being alive. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Because I also think about this. I hold so much shame as a person for, I don't know why. But even things like, oh, that's Nepic, you know, like because the shame in me not having read the One Piece chapter in the book that I have. Why haven't I done that? This is for context, when I was 12, and I had the first American issue of Shonen Jump, and One Piece was on the was in there, and I mispronounced. I thought it said Nepic because of the way the logo looks.
It's an old time and good story. I love it.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that it's an early example of me kind of this wanting to lie because I want to avoid the shame. Like the shame in my own, because there's no actual shame in not having read or know the thing or not knowing something.
Especially as a child. But the thing is, I very early on, like maybe it's through like early success in academics or being successful. Taking pride in being a precocious kid is tough. And so it's maybe that's where it comes from. But the instinct to want to cover up things that I'm shameful of is like I sent a screenshot in like this challenge in RuneScape where I died a bunch of times, and I sent it to my friend, and it's the type of thing, how many times I died trying this thing is something that if I was younger, would have taken to the death. You know what I mean? It's like, because I would never want to reveal that I'm not as good at this thing as I want people to think I am. Yes. And I'm like, well, that's interesting, because and then where my brain goes is, if it were someone else, and this is where my brain goes now after therapy and trying to make sense of this. It's like, if it were someone else and that was their starting point, and it's like the setback comes before the comeback. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if the story has a happy ending and it's that you succeeded and overcame whatever challenge, then why does it matter that it was more difficult for someone else? Yeah, if there wasn't something you overcame, then the story's not impressive. Isn't it more interesting if you struggled with something and then overcame it than if it came easily to you? It's straight up just not impressive if it came easily. It's like, I can reach a higher shelf than Peeps can, but there's no merit in that at all. Right, and I think that may be something that like I held on to as a child, is like things came so easily to me, and I was praised for things that I could do that came easily to me. Most stuff's measured as well. Exactly. And so when things didn't come easily, I would want to like sweep it under the rug. And instead of being seen as someone who worked really hard, it was like seeing as someone who was like smooth with it always. Yes, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's just a little peek inside my own brain. Hopefully that's helpful. It kind of ties a little bit back to the point you made about like the weird, unique thing about people being cynical about their own sports team, where like, this is one of the few things in life where there is actually a lot of peace and freedom in making fun of and acknowledging your whiffs, right? Yeah. Like, it's like, if you're just going to argue online, improv when you make a mistake. If you're going to argue online about like, actually, no, my team is only good and nothing's gone wrong, well, then it's like, is there that much fun to it? Do you like sports? Like, it kind of seems like, because they kind of like, it's, if you rooted for a team that had never not won a game or ever been scored on even once, probably wouldn't like basketball very much. It would just be a boring sport. It would just be boring. And it would also there would be no achievement in it, there'd be no excitement. And it's not that like, it's bad things are good because then it gives contrast to good things. That's, just not the case, but plenty of stuff's enjoyable. But like, once it's a thing you want to be proud of or a thing you want to overcome, then I will say, I'm calling this out just because I could actually use a little accountability on it, if that's okay for you guys. Sure. I think in my time away, when I got sent to a nunnery to England.
You were exiled?
My Corsican island exile. I think I got a little ego death and which I appreciate it to some extent. It does help me with a lot of stuff. And then I think I might have overcorrected to being a little bit black-pilled and a little bit nihilistic. At the time, very nihilistic, like all the way. But on the way back now, I do get a lot of peace from to acknowledging what I'm limited in and acknowledging just like, yeah, whatever. I'm kind of not very smart in this thing. Or like, I found a lot of peace actually in like acknowledging that I'm like not very educated. That's because I just literally wasn't, and that was big. I'm hiding this, especially in an office environment. I would never tell anyone that I didn't finish high school.
Right.
Because if people don't know, I dropped out of school for a couple of years because I just hated it and also racist shit. But then I went back into the equivalent like the GED at like a local location for 2 years, and I was never an academic kid, so I didn't have pride about academia. What I wanted was exactly what you're describing, the ease of it. And what I wanted was like, I'm just a precocious genius, so I'm just good at the thing. I was never very good at academics, but I was always quite charismatic, or at least like charming, I guess.
I would
in the
say
right
you're
settings.
definitely charming and charismatic.
But I think that at the time that the charm element was what I was hiding. I really wanted to be an adult. Like, I did not like the feeling of like, well, he's probably worse or slower or not as charming because he's a kid. And so I was like affecting a lot of like how grown up I am. And I actually don't mind about things. They're actually cool. Meanwhile, just like siloing all of this self-consciousness about like, but what do I know? What do I sound? Do I sound wrong? Lately, I have been I've been noticing it more. I've been a little, I say lately, like couple years, but like increasingly on and off, a little kind of like flippant with pride, like a little like finding the pride in stuff. I've kind of been treating it like a Roman Catholic. I've just been like, don't do that. And like the thing with the car was the big thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I don't know. It's actually just something I meant to talk to you privately about because it's like I think you're very kind in like the way you will, all of you will like express something directly, but you especially, I think you know it from your personal experience and also knowing me for a long time is the like, don't shut yourself down, don't reduce the so-and-so. And I think I've been doing it so much lately because it in a stiff upper lip way and not in a like, don't hate on yourself because you failed this thing or don't hate yourself. It's like I feel like I've reverted a little bit to like being like 15 and just being like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares about like whatever, dude? Yeah, I'm fucking stupid. Who fucking gives a shit? Yeah. I'm never gonna do that. And it's like a.
And wait, and so how does that manifest with the car?
Like the car came in and I had this like big boost of like this huge rush of ecstasy and pride and like fulfillment and like I can do the things I set my mind to or so and so. And then I immediately like.
You're like, pipe that down.
Probably like that. I'm like, the thing just happened. Like, it's like I'm like looking away from the Rube Goldberg machine.
That's interesting.
I don't fucking whatever, man.
I have, I think, a severe version of that doesn't even let me have the pride part, which is interesting. But I definitely relate to this to the point earlier. It's like, well, what is the point of anything? First of all, second, if you play a football game and you're up by 1, and then the other team can win with a field goal, and then they miss the field goal, and then you and your team storm the field in happiness. It's funny, right? Because it's like, well, you didn't affect that.
You stood, yeah.
You didn't affect that. That actually was someone else's mistake. And yet you're celebrating, you know what I mean? Like you're celebrating all of the hard work that you've already put in, not you're not celebrating the mistake of this guy. When everyone celebrates together, it's a team victory because you showed up to practice.
Yeah.
You did the stuff.
You're celebrating everything before.
Right. And that's why you can even celebrate in a loss because even though it's not what you want, you can take solace at least in the fact that you are positioning yourself for success. And I think that you and I will probably, and you know, maybe this isn't true, but like are probably not the type of people to become like Kanye levels of conceited and self-absorbed, or at least self-absorbed in that way, self-congratulatory. Sure. Self-absorbed maybe in sulking and feeling your feelings way. Maybe that's more likely for me.
Obsessed is the wrong word. Self-focused.
Self-congratulatory.
You know,
and so as a result, like, I don't think you need to keep that in check, because I feel like you've described to me in the past, and maybe this is even back when we had our Sea Dog episode, where it's a little bit the like Welsh or British, like if you do anything well, it's like Captain does a thing well over here.
Well.
Yeah.
Driving, are we?
Yeah, if it isn't a guy who achieved something.
Yeah.
And it's and I wonder if there's like an internal putting yourself down, like not allowing yourself to have that, because there's like a voice that has that old muscle memory.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that the way you're thinking, okay, so
I'll give you a one that's kind of crazy. Or actually, this is very similar. So I was like a few years ago, Forbes 30 under 30. I didn't celebrate that. There are people we know that have like asked me to like refer them or like review their applications, because it's apparently something you can apply for and things like that.
Should I apply? Retroactively?
No one's ever,
Okay, like
no one's ever wanted over 30,
like
baby.
A posthumous Oscar or something.
Like I got that honor, and in my head, I was like, oh, neat. But then the other part of me goes, it's a bunch of weird freaks. Like a lot of the time, it's like there's the whole fraud thing where it's like Forbes 30 to 30, like a lot of people would go on like do some crime or do some fraud or whatever. It's like there's that, and then also this isn't a meritocracy. Yep. I feel like I made the right impression on the right people who had the right amount of power or whatever.
It would be insane to the egotistical thing you're saying. It would be like insane and dangerous for us to say like, well, we are where we are because we are that much better than other people.
Right. I've never been the type of person to, the reason that like it almost sounds like a lie when I tell people this is because I'm not the person who puts it in their bio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because we know those types of people, and that type of person's always been grating to me.
Yes.
And so as a result of all of that, even though it's a thing that is cool and could be celebrated, or I would say there's no harm in celebrating it, it is internal to me a whatever.
Well, even now you're qualifying it with like but I know it's, you know.
Yeah, it's like, but, and even at the time it was my ex, like made me like go out to dinner to like celebrate it. And I thought that was a nice gesture for them, but also very interesting for me because of how difficult it is for me to celebrate myself. Because in my mind, and this is like me doing stand-up about myself almost, it's like everything that I've achieved, I should have achieved it sooner.
Yes, okay.
And everything I haven't achieved, it's an embarrassment that I haven't achieved it yet.
That's so funny. You completely keyed into what my question was going to be. Because like I was going to ask, when you talk about it, it is you didn't reach a higher goal. And when I think about it, I shouldn't have even had the goal.
Right.
I'm like surprisingly like, don't be, all right, buddy. If you tried something, and in your case, it's you didn't try enough.
Anything
to the thing.
I get, I'm like, well, if there's any, and this is, again, not fair, but to myself, but it's like anything I achieve or any sort of accolade I receive, I'm like, well, there's a bunch of better creators that should be receiving this than me.
Yeah.
Who do similar stuff. Why those people should just get it, because I'm not the best. So why is anyone ever celebrating me? No one should watch my videos. You know what I mean? It's like, because there's better ones.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because then the goal can be, well, because I should make the best video.
Right.
Like that would be succeeding.
And a lot of times, like, for example, I was talking to Austin about this because like Hassan watched the gold video I did about clavicular saying the N-word all the time, I like am honored when people will watch like a video of mine on stream, but I have a shame and an embarrassment because I feel like this isn't my best work. This isn't the type of thing that I want to show people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It almost feels like I'm making, and that's not that I don't have respect for the things I do or think that there's value in it, but it's like if I had a secret poetry book that was unpublished, and I came down to the office one day and Anastasia was like, "Oh, I was reading some of your poetry," and I'm like, "Oh no,
no,
you're not
I was
supposed to see that."
Write one, then maybe send it to you.
I was supposed to, yeah. Those aren't even you actually need to see the better stuff.
Yeah, wait till the VFX is done before you watch the movie. It's not finished. We have reshoots. Please.
Right, and so it's part of the mindset that's kept me from the main channel is because I have that sort of like perfectionism.
The longer the break, the higher the expectation for yourself.
Exactly. And it's the same thing that stopped me from posting on YouTube when I was like 14. When like my High School Musical video popped off, I was like, well, now I'm not going to be able to follow that.
Yeah. What is that, High School Musical 2?
I think I've always been concerned about people's perception of me, but not in the way that you'd think, I guess. It's like I want people to think I'm capable, think I'm intelligent, whatever. And it's not that I don't feel like I'm putting out good work or something like that. But if I have my own things that I would change, things that I would do differently, if I was producing a video on a short timeline and given all the resources in the world, I could make a better version of this thing, but that's not the role that this is playing. And then someone sees that, it's like the feeling that everything I do needs to be the best thing I do. I've gotten over that in practice. I've gotten over it in that doesn't stop me from publishing. Mm. It's like I got over it by having Anastasia review my videos instead of having myself review them, because if I review them, I will make 1,000 edits that don't matter.
Kind of like I didn't get my injury healed. I just walked different.
Yeah.
Like, and over time, it like your kind of hip gets unbalanced, or like one leg starts to atrophy or something in a little bit, or like you're like, okay, I know that the perfect thing to do would be able to review my video with no issue and like help and not
the
make too many
perfect thing
notes.
is to never have an ad deadline and to do and to do things only for to do things, to live in a perfect world where you're an artist that is only self motivated by things that uniquely touch your soul in a special way, and to not live under capitalism, not need to make money, not need to do a brand deal for a mobile game or whatever. And it's like I don't do many of those things, and I am fortunate enough to make what I think are good choices about like how I make money and how I present myself and like what types of whatever. But it almost feels like when someone looks at a data point about my entire, if I am a concert of 1 million data points as a person, if someone looks at one of those data points, I feel like where my brain goes is that one data point is representing the million.
Which is the burden of the person looking at it. Like beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Maybe they will. Maybe what control do we have? But ultimately, people tend not to. They tend to want to see more or learn more or get a more.
But what I told
feeling.
Austin was like, I don't feel like these gold videos are good enough to be watched by someone on stream.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, because in my mind, I'm like, this is more of a vibes-based performance, and it is not a utility. It's a entertainment thing.
Yeah.
So there is a utility to it. And I think it's selling it short to say that there's no utility, but in my mind, in the way that I structure my own stuff, it is more entertainment than anything else. It's more like, I'm not offended when someone says they fall asleep listening to it, or they eat their meal while watching it.
I think we do like performing, as in like it's fun to do. Right?
Yeah.
Like we have a good time doing it. It's not that it's never draining or like never enough. I know some people just adore doing it all the time, not us, but I enjoy being having stuff that I'm proud of be published with me associated with it. Mm-hmm. Like it's cool. That feels like an archive or like an achievement to do that. but I really don't like having myself attached to the thing being published, or rather, myself being the thing that's being published. Like Sad Boys featuring Jordan, is a much more palatable, like, okay, that's going out into the world than the Adika video I posted. Now, I should say thank you to everyone for watching that video. This was peak, all right, Mr. Hollywood mind for me recently, where I was just like, I wanted 20K views in the first day. And I was like, because that's good. I've been gone a really long time, whatever. I've never been aside from it, like, as a job, never too motivated by, like, the performance of things, just because it's that, like, overly suppressive mindset. It's not, you should celebrate. It did, like, way better. Got like 100K on the second day. And I was really happy with that. And then it climbed and it caught up with the best performing videos from it was 931 days since the previous upload. And so it was going up, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And even saying that right now, it gives me the ick. Me saying give you the ick? It gives me the there's something about that kind of statement that makes it feels embarrassing, because I want to add that caveat at the end. I want to do the unnecessary, like, but it doesn't matter. Not like, but I could have done better. I do think it's interesting the contrasting points that we're coming at it from, and the result being exactly the same. Which is not to say that I don't also, and I'm sure vice versa, rag on myself for a lack of success in one thing, get frustrated. Like I'm frustrated that I'm not going to the gym, right? Because I used to like going to the gym, and it used to make me feel better. Exactly. That is actually like it's very difficult to separate a thing that actually we should be doing because we aren't doing it. Like I should cook more, right? Big one. I actually should, because it is cheaper and better for you, and a good habit and a good skill set. Now, their actual appointment openings. Mental health, the dental health. Once, if I was cooking a lot, or even just a good amount, somewhat consistently, if then I go to like, okay, well, I need to like learn Italian cuisine as well. Now it's free space. Now this is just like, we got it on free time. Maybe you do, maybe you could, but you're eating every day. It's not like that to be like, well, I'm having, my macros aren't quite right. And it's like, okay, getting your macros right can be a goal, but it mustn't be the goal. Because it is also, it's just like, I think that there's something, I think that celebrating little things and allowing yourself to celebrate little things is healthy. Like and impressive. I think it's admirable. Yeah, well, for example, I used to make coffee every morning, and then I just started like ordering coffee, and I hated that I was doing that, and everything was just like the what's it called? The momentum was just in that direction. Yeah. And then I started like making coffee again the other day, and there's almost a relief. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, because it didn't take me any time. It's just a weird, like, it almost feels like sensory in the way that someone might not like the way like corduroy feels on their skin. Yeah. It's like sleeping in jeans. I needed to drink from a paper cup for that time, and I don't know why, you know, and I still don't. And I'm sure that the peaks and valleys will continue to ebb and flow. The other thing about the shame is that if anyone ever wanted to collab with me, I used to want to be like, hey, by the way, like, if you want to collab, like, I can't promise this is going to help your channel or in anything in any way, because I don't think I have that kind of pull. And I would even like, it almost made me want to turn things down. And I didn't, but it almost made me feel that way. Well, that's because that's like, we talked about it a while ago. I feel like if somebody like gives you a compliment and your gut is to be like, oh, no. The kind of thing to do is actually say yes. Because it makes that, to give a compliment is also, can be tricky for people, and to word it well. So and it's kindness is to say you're yes. Denying someone who actually like it. It's not easy for most people to give compliments. Some people may enjoy it, but just like some people may enjoy giving gifts, but if you reject that gift, similarly to reject that compliment, it
is a bad feeling for them, and you probably didn't want to give them the bad feeling.
It's like, wow, that's really nice that you're inviting me to do this thing. I will suppress the
and none of
urge.
this applies if it's a comment about your body or catcalling or that type of thing.
That's actually a really good point, because I feel like this true thing, or true, I guess, or real, whether valid or not, the real sensation that we're talking about, I do feel like, and this includes when it's rearmed with therapy speak and therapy aesthetics online a lot of the time, is used to like devalue something.
Yeah.
It is used to say, well, okay, what you're actually doing is these several systems that I have in a list.
When I said,
stop being mean to me.
Look, when I said, "Ooh, mama, look at that booty," tell me something nice, and you said, "You gross." It really hurt my feelings, and it was very invalidating to like me expressing
that was my feeling.
Like, yeah, and it's like I had that feeling, and all feelings are valid. So
you should say, hooray!
Yeah, I don't understand why I'm being. This is kind of messed up.
And yet, my favorite type of guy is guy that's like, well, when a woman yells at me in the street, it's allowed. I'm like, did that happen recently?
Yeah.
What did they yell? Stop whistling when I walk by? Because that's not quite the same.
And then those same guys will like spray who they perceive to be as a gay person with a water hose.
Yeah,
if they feel like they're coming close to them.
Whoa,
because every gay dude's trying to turn me into one of them.
Jesus, he's catcalling me by driving his car nearby.
Dudes rock, huh?
Dudes rock.
All right, we need to wrap.
We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
Love you, we do.
Sorry, we are.
Yes, sir.
Patreon.com/sadboys for Sadboyz Nightz, where the good times keep on rolling.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, oh, you want it? Girl, too rich for me.